Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Namofsky. On today's episode, we're discussing building confidence and resilience through sport and fitness. I'm joined by Shannon Galea, who's a co-founder and skeleton athlete of the Malta Bobsled and Skeleton Federation, physical educator at the Durham District School Board, and a former professional softball athlete. So, Shannon, can you share your experiences with gender stereotypes in sports and how you've navigated through them?
Yeah, gender stereotypes in sports. When I look at my career in softball, there was a lot of different rules when you look at the men's versus the women's game. So in my position, I was a pitcher, and the rules were made from more of the male perspective. And when you look at the female body, it doesn't quite support, what females need in terms of the biomechanics. And so a lot of, pitchers now, they've changed the rules. So now we can actually jump or have a greater leap off the mound and not have to have 2 feet. It actually isn't really supportive to the women's hips and our biomechanical ratio of our bodies when compared to a male. And so I look at my early childhood development in the support and notice just all my coaches were male. And I had to learn from the male perspective, like how to pitch and how to become a better pitcher. So the game has evolved. And, when I fast forward to where I started taking my career overseas and playing the game at higher levels, it was interesting just to see even just how women were treated when compared to the male side of the sport. We had smaller budgets, we had smaller resources, we had less practice facilities, training facilities. The male athletes who were imported were given cars and had a little bit more of a luxurious living than when compared to us as females. We were living with our coaches or had to live with our teammates. So it was quite interesting that I had a little bit of a taste of that in my career overseas.
So, what advice would you give to young women aspiring to pursue a career in sports? And how can they stay motivated and resilient in the face of challenges? Because clearly there are many.
Yeah, I think the first thing is pursuing sport with absolute passion. It has to be something that you're fully passionate about, fully motivated, and just knowing your why. And I think that'll steer you in the right direction. And that'll always give you the things that you want to do and the tools that you need, and connecting with the right people and the right mentors. And then on that note, I think mentorship is also really crucial to keeping women in sport and being resilient and finding those coaches that you can look up to that guide you in the right direction. I look at my entire sport career, and what kept me going was having the right mentors in place that were so motivating, and people that I look up to that really steered me in the right direction.
So, we have about a minute and 20 seconds left. I want to talk about how women in sports, how they can leverage their platforms to drive social change and awareness.
Yeah, I think advocacy. I think that's super important for women in sport, is just advocating for their rights and being a part of events, participating in panel discussions, raising awareness. I think that's super important to strengthening the female sport community and just empowering women in sport. We know that media plays a key role in leveraging women in the media and in sport. And I think just showing the stories is something that can impact, our youth in positive ways. And, I heard someone that once said that, women have an incredible way of bringing everybody with them, bringing them a part of the journey when you compare to men in their sport environment, that it's all about ego and them. And not to say that that's every male athlete, but when you look at the movement that's happening in women's sport right now in the media, it's really about the community and how they're a part of that, a part of it. And I think that's really important. And I think that's something that women do really well.
Thank you so much, Shannon.